Hi folks, and welcome to today's exercise of the day. Now, I've been contacted by one of our group who's having a few niggles in the left side of her hip. And I said, okay, fair enough, we will make today's exercise of the day a little range of mobility stretch type exercises that might be able to help both her and you guys. So, kit for today will be, as ever, a chair. Actually, we're going to make use of two chairs. If you have a small stool in the house, that would be great. I don't, so I'm going to make use of this sort of heavy duty plastic tub just to elevate my feet, or show you an option with feet slightly elevated. And the only other thing we're going to need is a wall. So we're going to start off by making sure that we're well warmed up before we do any mobility stretching type exercises around the hip. So you might want to get yourself out for a brisk walk, or if the weather's terrible, even sort of marching on the spot exercises, sort of akin to the way we'd warm up in the Move Well class. So if you need a little warm up, go on the website, online resources, look for the Move Well class, and there'll be a little warm up on there done by yours truly with Ian and Katie in close proximity. Now, when we come to actually mobilising the hip, let's start with a nice basic seated hip rotation. You can do this seated. So we're just starting with the body, good posture, tummy pulled in, nice long spine as always, and we're just going to take the legs out to the side and back in. So a lot of us spend a lot of our time seated, and we're not really making use of our ability of our hips to rotate our legs and bring them in, so things get a bit tight in around the hip region and the pelvis. So this is just starting to open up the hips and develop a bit of mobility in there. Once we've mobilized for a little bit, and you can make this more challenging by bringing in our little tub, elevating the feet, and then again taking out to the side there, or if you can, even further, this is where I hope my socks are clean. Actually, we probably want to bring that in a little bit there, and again just rotate the knees to the side just to get the hip joint mobilized, and by doing this it releases a sort of internal WD-40 into the hip joint, so it's going to make all our exercises and stretches a little bit easier. Now, another stretch we can do then, once we've mobilized, is a sort of butterfly stretch. So if we're using a little stool, place the hands on the inside of the legs. Again, good posture all the time. You notice I'm not leaning back, okay? Sat away from the backboard. And just start taking the legs out to the side. And once we've had a few repetitions then, just hold the stretch on. So we're just pushing down lightly with our hands. We're making sure that we're not in pain. So if it's painful, we're pushing too hard, just ease off a little bit. And we're going to hold these stretches for maybe 30 seconds if you can. It takes a little while for the muscle tissue to give and not to spring back into place. Muscle has elastic properties. So we're just going to hold that out now. So I'm not going to hold these all for 30 seconds, we'll be here all day. But that's a nice basic butterfly stretch. If it's too much to have your feet elevated, then we can just do that seated, where again we just take the legs out to the side and hold there. If you are capable, you want to do it with a chair, again you can elevate the legs there, make sure we're sitting upright, take that out to the side. As you can see, my flexibility is not great, so my colleagues will now be laughing at me, and hold that stretch on. Okay, so that's a good one for opening up the inside of the thigh. Another one we can do is for the piriformis muscle, just around the back here. And again, we can make use of our little tub. So we're going to bring one leg over the other, and then you're going to rotate to the side slowly. Okay, so you're just turning slowly, nice and easy, and again making sure we're upright. Okay, so really focusing on tummy pulled in, long spine, and then we can hold that stretch. And you're looking for a stretch down around here in your backside. You may also feel it on the side of the leg there. Again, if that's too much, we can do this with the foot just on the floor there, and we can apply the stretch there. Obviously make sure you're doing both sides on each of these guys. Another one we can do for hip flexors. Now, if it's possible, we're going to actually go to the ground here, but onto one knee, okay? Might want to have a chair handy to help you back up again. So 90 degrees at the knee at the front. I know you can't see properly. Let me move back a little bit. Too much kick. 90 degrees behind. And then we really want to focus on that nice long spine, good posture, chin up on a shelf, and we're just pushing the hip forward. We should feel a stretch here on the front part of the thigh. So this is stretching your hip flexors. So this is a sort of lunge stretch, okay? Now, again, you want to make sure you do both sides. If you find that too difficult to actually get down into that position, what you may be able to do, again, making use of a chair and having somewhere to hold on. You can't see my head here now, but elevate the leg to here, and then we want to push the hip forward, looking for a stretch in this region here, but make sure that you're well supported all the time, especially if your balance is a little bit compromised. Okay, and finally, for the outer part of the thigh, we're going to call, Katie calls this a wall banger. So you'll need a piece of wall, and you're going to put your shoulder in against the wall. Now again, make sure really good posture, tummy pulled in. Imagine you're putting a belt on, you're trying to get an extra notch on the belt, that sort of pull in. We're going to start with the feet about a foot away from the wall. Now, I've got socks on here because I know I've got a floor that is non-slip. Make sure that you're not on an unstable surface, and make sure you're not on a slippy surface. You might want to make sure you've got a pair of trainers or something like that on here. Hands up against the chest, and then we're just going to let the hip drift in against the wall and out. So we're getting a stretch down the outside of the thigh here on a muscle called the abductor. Okay, just nice and slow, and then we may want to hold that in and hold that stretch for a little bit longer. If you find that too easy, then we can move the feet away just a little bit more, and then we'll be getting an even bigger stretch on that outer hip region. And again, make sure, guys, that you're holding these stretches for a decent amount of time. No problem holding these for about 30 seconds. And also make sure that you're working both sides. I hope that helps. That's today's exercise of the day, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.